Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about rune words and how to craft some of the best items in Diablo 2. This is going to be a really good little introduction for any of you guys that are beginner players for Diablo 2 Resurrected. So what you need to actually do to craft these rune words is of course the runes and an item that has the amount of sockets that you actually need to actually put them inside, and you have to do it in a correct order as well. But there are only so many runes that you'll be able to acquire in the beta because we're only able to access the first two acts, but I'm going to give you guys something for every single class over here. So to show off some the really great rune words in the game, you need to be further into the game, and also to get a certain base item, like for example the Spirit Monarch Shield may not be able to be dropped earlier on, but these are really good items as well that you may acquire later in the game. But this video is supposed to highlight the beginner rune words, as they're going to give you a huge advantage in the game. So first off, I do want to go over where to get these runes so you can actually create the rune word. Now also, you can upgrade your runes by putting in multiple copies of the same one. So just because it's not the rune that you need, you could still save it. You can trade in Diablo 2, so keep that in mind as well. So first off, let's go over how to acquire these runes. So of course you can get them off of drops from monsters, but the more consistent way to do it is actually going to be from the Countess. So to actually access that area, I'm going to go and show you guys where to go for that. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to Act 1 and specifically go into the Black Marsh. So that's where this little waypoint is over here, and you're going to go kill the Countess again and again. You're going to go into the Forgotten Tower, and you'll have to go through a few levels, but she's relatively easy to kill. But this is where you will actually get majority of your starter runes. This is where I recommend all you guys to go to acquire these. Now you can only go up to a certain point for the runes, as in basically the Countess will drop anywhere from L to Ral. So 1 through 8 on this list over here. These are the runes that they will drop. And also you can upgrade your runes by putting in multiple copy of the rune in the lower tier. Now it's not always 3 copies of one rune equals the next tier. Later down the line you'll have to get maybe some gems, or it'll only be 2 copies of, let's say, one rune to upgrade it into the next tier of rune. Now keep in mind that these will change, but we don't have access to this in the beta, and the whole point of this beta is to be able to get some of the best items, and that's the point of this video, is more of an introduction to crafting these rune words. But in terms of actually how to craft, let me go and show you guys a little quick example over here. So we have a flail. Now it's very important that it is in that gray text. See the word flail? It's in that smoky gray text. That needs to exist. If it's in a rare item or a unique item, this will not apply. But that's how you craft, let's say, Malice, which is a nice little earlier rune word that you can get as well. But again, I mentioned that you guys can upgrade the rune. So in Act 2, you'll have access to the Herodric Cube. You'll be putting, again, 3 copies of the same rune to get the next tier of rune, and they all have to be in the exact order that I mentioned here in this video. It's basically as the text reads. It has to specifically go over that exactly, because if you mess up the rune word, it's not so simple as just right clicking and taking the rune out. Once that rune is in, it is pretty much going to be in there for the most part. We won't get into it like other things in this video to keep it simple, but basically craft it in the right order, do it once, do it correct. If you need to have it on a second monitor for the exact rune word, because once you mess up, it's unfortunate. But this is basically how you craft in Diablo 2 for the rune words. Now, I also want to go over some of the best rune words because that's the point of the video, but of course this is a tutorial to show you guys how to get started with that. So first off, the best rune words hands down for the beta are going to be Leaf as well as Stealth. So to craft Leaf, you will get a Tier and a Ral rune. And so what this is going to be really good for is the +3 to fire skills. Now most people will probably be rolling sorceress at the start. This is one of the best things that you can craft in the entire game, especially for the earlier level. There's really no replacement for this. Now those +3 to fire skills can apply to multiple classes. It's not just the sorceress. You could be playing a druid. This will work for them. You get a few extra bonus stats like the extra fire damage, but the rest of the stats are pretty much just going to be for sorceress only in terms of the bonus skills. But you can also see that there is bonus to, let's say, the defense, the extra cold resist, and because it has a tier rune in it, the tier rune automatically gives you mana after each kill, which is a fantastic thing to have, especially in the earlier game, so you don't have to spam your mana potions as frequently. So this is hands down one of the best items. Again, you don't have to craft this specifically for the sorceress, but you know, it's usually used for that. So you're gonna craft that into a staff. Now, you can also get an item that also has, as long as it's in that long staff text that is in the gray text, you can get a staff that already has +2 fireball, +2 whatever sorcerer skills, as long as it's in that gray text, meaning it's not going to be a magic or a rare or a unique. So not a yellow text in the long staff department, okay? That's very important because that's the thing that a lot of beginner players, the first time they make a mistake with rune words, that can discourage them from creating more rune words in the future. So I'm just really trying to stress that. Make sure you put them in the correct order. Next up, this armor is called Stealth. It's very, very great for pretty much all classes, but it's a little bit better for casters because you get the extra cast rate. But that nice faster run walk in the very beginning is very awesome. So to craft this, you need a Tal and an Eth rune, and that's going to grant you all of the bonus stats over here, where it gives you that faster run walk, you get the faster cast rate, faster hit recovery, which is a nice feature. That's a feature that's not in a lot of other action RPGs. What it is for faster recovery is when you get hit, it's how fast your character will respond to being able to take another action, because it's almost like getting stun locked by enemies if you surround yourself. So nice little stat right there. And then on top of that, extra mana regeneration is quite nice, and then extra stamina and the poison resist for Act 2 is quite nice. So those are the two like really best ones. Now there are other rune words that I want to go over for like more specific classes, but keep in mind you can craft these on and give it to your mercenary as well. It really helps out. The next thing I want to talk about is a shield. This is a really good item. It's called Ancient's Pledge, and so it's going to require a Ral, Ort, and a Tal rune. So in order to craft the Ort rune, you're going to have to get multiple copies of the previous rune, and then you throw them in. I'll link the website down below in the pinned comments that goes over like all the little upgrades. But basically what you're going to get with this is a huge amount of resistances, and the damage taken goes to mana. Now, I also want to mention, even though it says Paladin only, you don't have to craft it in a shield that is for Paladin only. I just happen to use this one. And the stats for the Ancient's Pledge are actually going to be a little bit different than what appears on the screen. So in that little red box that I just popped up, you can see it gives me that cold resist of 43, but mine has 51 cold resist. Oh, and you see where it says lightning resist 48, and mine has 56. Why are these numbers different? It's because the base item that I had with the shield is going to actually apply those bonus effects if I also craft it into a rune word. So again, that's where you try to find a better base. Now obviously for the beta, I'm not going to search for a super long time to get the perfect one, and also it's like a lower leveling item, but this allowed me to be resistance capped. So remember that you can craft in an item that already has really awesome stats built in, and then you can craft on top of that, getting you extra bonuses. But this is just a really nice thing for beginners because the damage taken goes to mana, and then on top of that you get massive amount of resistance. So that is for a shield. It doesn't have to be, again, a paladin shield, but a lot of times paladin shields will roll with some extra stats. Another thing that can be nice, I mean, it's just a lower tier item. It's not what I would consider something that is super important. Heck, you could throw 2 tier runes on a helmet and it'd be almost just as good. But this is Nadir. It is a item where it grants you extra defense against missile, and then it gives you some extra bonus stats. Honestly, at the end of the day, it's not something that is super great, but I had a few people ask me during the stream, you know, what about a good helm to craft? There's not really too many other options, especially for lower levels, but Nadir is going to be a full helm that if you want to, you can craft. And then on top of that, just in case any of you guys are interested in playing a bow character, I do have a rune word for bow characters. So this one is going to be requiring you to be level 21. I just tried to keep this basically level 21-ish and under, because that's about what you'll hit in the beta. Keep in mind, there are much better rune words, and I do plan to make videos later down the line showing you guys better rune words, but this is just basically for the beta. So I'm going to show you guys what we're going to craft here in a second. This is going to be a cool rune word. Again, the most important thing with this is make sure you guys craft it in the very specific order, and if you have to have another monitor, I think at this point I actually was like looking it up like another website, but we'll go craft the rune word. This is Zephyr. You can see it's Ort and Eth, and you can see basically what it does. I'll actually just throw it up on screen what it actually does. So it just grants us a decent amount of stats. extra run walk speed, increased attack speed is great, and then we have minus target defense. That's kind of like your chance to hit in Diablo 2. And then you also get extra attack rating, which is going to help your attack. So it makes the enemy easier to hit, and also you get more attack rating, so it makes it easier for you to hit the enemy even further. But I really like Zephyr for that extra bonus of 1 to 50 lightning damage, because in the very beginning you might not have access to things that have like really good base stats, but in a bow you can craft Zephyr. I like it. It's just a nice little thing to have. And then there's another great melee weapon. Now you can craft this for your mercenary as well. This is Malice. I was actually using this on my paladin. So one thing to take note with this is that 50% damage to undead rolls on a lot of the I think it's like mace as well as the flail. You'll get that 50% damage to undead, so I rolled it on that, but you can roll it on perhaps something else that already has like +2 certain skills. So keep that in mind as well when you're crafting. You know, when the game finally comes out, or if you want to look for like the best base, do that as well. But this is going to give you some extra enhanced damage and extra maximum damage. But what I really like it for is actually the 100% chance of open wounds, prevent monster heal. You also make it so there is -100 monster defense per hit. So I like stacking this with my mercenary, and it just kind of adds a little bit more to it. So keep in mind, like I said, you can craft these on and give it to your mercenary. Obviously this would be an any melee weapon, so it'd be some type of like pole arm for your mercenary for this. But it also has a drain life -5, so you will start losing HP, but if you go to the Act 2 mercenary and you buy the one that has the prayer ability, it's gonna like basically out heal it, but it is definitely worth it. There's also a thing called steel, but for the lower level and the difference requirement being 2 levels, I'd say Malice is just gonna be a little bit better. I just love that prevent monster heal and open wounds in the very beginning. It's just a very nice thing to have, and it also really helps out with that extra attack rating against a lot of the monsters. But that's going to be a very basic way for you guys to understand how to craft rune words. But if there's any confusion, let me know in the comment section below. But those are the best rune words for the beta, which is what I wanted to cover in this video. I will make a video later down the line, obviously when the game comes out, and we'll go over some of the better rune words, but you're just not going to be able to simply get them in the beta. But anyways, thanks for tuning, guys, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it, and if you want to see more Diablo stuff in the future, and this is your first time here, make sure you guys are subscribed with the bell notification on, and you'll definitely see more very soon. But take care, guys, and I'll catch you on the next video. Have a good one, and I'm signing out. Peace.